Hello, today we are looking at finding the discriminant again. We need more practice than we got after the first day. So your essential question is, how do I find the discriminant? Your learning intention: I'm learning to find the discriminant so I can know the number of solution or solutions and find the solutions. So your warm-up: factor and find the zeros. So pause the video now and see if you can do the two warm-up questions on your own. If you can do them on your own, then you know that you are understanding the concept. So pause the video now, please. Well, I hope you tried. So if we're looking at the first one, 2 times 15, and I get 30. At the bottom is negative 11. Now, I'm multiplying and I get a positive, but when I add it, I get a negative. What do we know about both of our factors? Well, they both have to be negative. Negative times negative is a positive. Negative plus negative is a negative. So, as we're looking at the factors of 30 that add up to 11, what are the factors of 30? 1 times 30 is 30. 30 plus 1 is not 11. 2 times 15 is 30. 15 plus 2 is not 11. 3 times 10 is 30. 10 plus 3 is not 11, but we're closer. 5 times 6 is 30. 5 plus 6 is 11. So our factors are negative 5 and negative 6. But I have to remember, I've multiplied by 2. I've got to undo that. Undoing multiplying by 2 is dividing by 2. Okay, negative 5 divided by 2. Can I simplify? No. So the x stays in the bottom. 2x minus 5. Negative 6 divided by 2. You can simplify. 6 divided by 2 is 3, so it's negative 3 over positive 1. The x stays in the denominator, and this is x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, on this one we're going to set them both up equal to 0. On the next one we'll take a shortcut. 2x minus 5 is equal to 0, or x minus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to, I add 5, then divide by 2. I add 5, then divided by 2. Or, what is the opposite of negative 3? Positive 3, and I'm done. Hopefully that's the answer that you got. So let's look at the next one. I've got 2 times negative 6, which is negative 12. I've got a positive 1 down here. Remember, if it's not there, it's understood to be 1. So the coefficient of n is 1. Okay, I'm multiplying and I get a negative number. What do I know about those two numbers? One's positive and one's negative. Positive times negative is negative. Positive plus negative can be either one, depending on which is the larger base. What are my factors of 12 that when I subtract them I get 1? Obviously 1 times 12, 12 minus 1 is not 1. 2 times 6. 6 minus 2 is not 1. 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 plus 4, or 4 minus 3 is 1. This is positive, so the bigger number stays with a positive. Positive 4, negative 3. Now I divide. I've got 4 over 2. Can I simplify? Need to give myself more room here. Okay, 4 divided by 2 simplifies. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 goes into 1 time. My variable stays in the bottom, so it's x plus 2. Negative 3 divided by 2. I can't simplify. My x stays in the denominator. 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, this time, we're not going to set them both up equal to 0. We're just going to find the answer. So x is equal to, what's the opposite of positive 2? Negative 2 or. To solve this one, I add 3 to both sides, then divide by 2. Positive 3/2. So remember, when we're looking for the discriminant, we're going to use the quadratic formula. The discriminant will tell us how many real solutions we have, if any. And it all is based off of the fact that after we find the discriminant, we have to find the square root of the discriminant. If it is a number, then we'll have that is greater than 0, then we'll have two real rational and real solutions. If it's equal to 0, we'll only have one solution. If it is less than 0, there will be no solutions because we still don't know how to take the square root of a negative number. So, your discriminant is equal to b squared minus 4ac. Step 1, find a, b, and c. Okay, a is equal to 6. That's the coefficient of p squared. B is the coefficient of p, which is negative 2. C is the number, negative 3. Let's put it all together. B squared, negative 2 squared, minus 4 times 6 times negative 3. Okay. As we get into the higher levels of math, we need to use a calculator to make sure we don't make mistakes with our math. So this is parenthesis, negative 2 parenthesis squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 3. And I end up with positive 76. Because it's greater than 0, there are two solutions. Okay, what is the square root of 76? Okay, I can divide it by 2. I get 38. I can divide it by 2 again. I get 19. 19 is prime. I divide it by 19 and I get 1. So this is equal to, I've got a pair of 2's I can bring out. Square root of 19. It is always plus or minus. You've got the two sides. We need to remember that because that's what we use. That idea is what we use with the quadratic formula. Okay, so let's look at the next one. Okay, ax squared plus bx plus c. A is your coefficient of your squared term. In this case, it's 9. 6 is the coefficient, b is your coefficient of the term. So this is 6, and this is 1. Putting it all together, 6 squared minus 4 times 9 times 1. 36 minus 36 is equal to 0. If it's equal to 0, how many solutions? Just one. Okay, how about the last one? Can we solve it the way it is? No. It's got to be set up equal to 0. Does it matter which we move? No, not really. If we were having to factor it by hand, yes, it would make a difference. In this case, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. So, negative 4r squared minus 4r minus 6 is equal to 0. Now I can find my a, b, and c. A, the coefficient of r squared is negative 4. B, the coefficient of r is negative 4. And C, the number is negative 6. Okay, time to put it all together. Negative 4 squared minus 4 times negative 4 times negative 6. I've got a negative 80. So, do we know how to take the square root of a negative number? No. So this one has no real solution. Okay, now let's put it all together. Remember, the quadratic formula is the opposite of b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Is it set up ready to solve? No. So I can either go either way. It doesn't matter. I think I'm going to add 6x squared plus 6 to both sides. Okay. Now, I've got 0 here is equal to, start with your 6x squared, it's positive. 6x squared minus 7x. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. Time to find a, b, and c. Okay. A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 6. B is the coefficient of x, which is negative 3, or negative 7, sorry. And C is the number, which is negative 3. Okay, let's put it all together. So I've got negative 7 squared minus 4 times 6 times negative 3. And that gives me 121. The square root of 121 is positive or negative 11. You could have looked on your multiplication tables to find that if you did not know it. Okay, now let's put it all together. The first time we add, the second time we subtract. What is the opposite of B? What is the opposite of negative 7? Positive 7. Added to the 11. Remember this, the square root is this number right here. The square root of our discriminant is this number right here. All over 2 times 6. Okay, now let's finish it up. 7 plus 11 is 18. 2 times 6 is 12. 18 over 12. We'll simplify to what? Well, we can divide both top and bottom by 6. 18 divided by 6 is 3. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So the first answer is 3/2. The second time, it's exactly like this, except now we're subtracting. So I can put positive 7 minus 11 all over 2 times 6. Okay, their opposite signs subtract. 11 minus 7 is 4. Keep the negative sign. You still got the 12 on the bottom. Now we have to simplify. 4 will go into 4. 4 goes evenly into 12. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. We have found our two solutions. They're rational numbers because they are fractions. How do you know you're successful? You know you're successful when you can find that discriminant and state the number of solutions. Next class, we will be putting it all together again, like we did with that last one. So we're still finding discriminants. And the number of solutions.